This is a Thunderdog podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Midnight Musing, the podcast where I talk to my friends about the things that keep them up at night. I'm your host, Evan, and this is episode 7. My apologies for the rhyming couplet. On this episode, I talked to my friend and fellow podcaster, Alex. He's a great, eccentric, and energetic guy that I met at school. We kind of hit it off after working on a few projects together, including an ill-fated extracurricular show that you will never hear about. In fact, there's even a somewhat lengthy discussion of it that got recorded on this episode, and I immediately cut it. We do a deep dive on friendships and how the dynamic has changed since we graduated from university. Making and maintaining friendships is a totally different ball game when you aren't cooped up with a bunch of like-minded, similarly aged people in a classroom at least once a week. And that's something that we're just starting to settle into now that we're over half a year past graduating. So why don't I stop rambling and we can jump right into episode 7 of Midnight Musing with Alex. So we graduated recently.
We did.
Right?
You can
6
clap.
months ago?
At home, you're listening right now. Clap, you know. Whew.
Yeah, it was a real feat of strength.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely never talked poorly about my alma mater before on this podcast.
No.
But how would you say your social interaction is different since you've graduated?
I mean...
Is it different? It doesn't have to be different.
Yeah, I feel like there was the gut reaction right away that I was like, okay, I'm graduating. All these people who I got to see at least once a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on a weekly basis, or interact with, or have classes with, or do projects with, or go to parties with.
Right.
There's nothing keeping us together. There's no institution that's like, okay, you have to be here on a regular basis. It's like, you know, a friend of ours is in Manitoulin Island right now.
Right.
And this someone else is in like other places like Keswick,
Kitchener,
Toronto. Sorry, I had the easy one.
Yeah.
But you know, they're all over the place now.
Yeah, they're spread out.
So I thought, okay, this happens, we're not going to see each other as much. And that's true. Like, there are people that I really haven't seen as much. And probably I don't see people as much as I saw. There's no way, right? Like at school, you see a lot of people. But I feel like the people that I've seen, I feel like the interactions are far more meaningful.
Okay, yeah. I definitely feel the same way, where it's like we had, as you said, this institution that put us in the same room together once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like after that disappears, after we graduated, like once that goes away, you really find out who your friends are. And not in a shitty way where it's like, oh, the people that I don't talk to as much were fake friends. They weren't fake.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like, who are you going to go out of your way to interact with?
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer a convenient thing to be friends with this person. So who are you willing to put energy into?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who do you get energy from? Like who's people that you generally or genuinely want to hang out with?
Yeah, because like after I graduated high school, I didn't go to the same post-secondary as I would say 80 to 90% of my graduating class.
You didn't go to Harvard?
No, I didn't actually. But the majority of my graduating class went to the school that was in the city that I was from,
mm-hmm.
right? Like we graduated in London. Most people went to school or went to college in London.
Yeah.
And then I left. And basically I talked to 3 people from high school now.
Nice.
Like, I'm not going to say I was Mr. Popular, but I had the group of friends I was in was fairly large.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was also friendly with a couple other people that weren't necessarily in that group.
Yeah.
And like I found that the people that were in that group, I don't talk to at all. To the point where like one of the people I actively cut out because he was shit.
Yeah, you're shit.
But like most of the people just fell away and I never gave it a second thought. Right? And it's not that I didn't like the people at the time. It was just a matter of I label myself as an introvert for the most part, as I mentioned in episode 3 of Midnight Musing.
Download it now. Right now.
So like I only have so much social energy to put towards things most of the time. And so many of these people that I went to high school with just weren't worth the effort as soon as it wasn't just like, oh, well, we have the same lunch period. And like that sounds real shitty and kind of psychopathic maybe. But like I feel like a lot of people have that where it's just like this person isn't in front of my face, so I'm going to kind of forget about them.
Yeah, and at the same time, that's not to say that if you met them, let's say 5 years down the road, I mean, people do kind of grow and adapt and everything. And I mean, you could meet them and you could get that friendship back, but it is something that like even people who I'm like that they in high school, like they were my good friends and everything. It's like there's nothing really stopping me from hanging out with them. There's nothing stopping me from messaging them right now and being like, "Hey, what are you doing this week?" Like, or next week. Like, let's grab some Korean food. You can do it that easily, and it's just like when you're not at the same place, when you're not face to face with them, it's hard. But also, like every time I went, like when I went from elementary school to high school, like okay, in elementary school, literally everyone is at least. It's far closer. There's far less animosity, at least in my situation there was. Yeah. It was also I went to the school where everyone there was Ukrainian, so there was no.
That helps.
Like everyone there was from the same culture and everything, so there's a lot of like I don't know. It's kind of like a cultural ghetto because you're always dealing the same things. But that's a different thing anyway. And then I go to high school and I had like 7 or 8 people from my elementary school there, and like my 3 best friends, right? So that's a good stepping stone. High school's great. By grade 12, I have a lot of friends. Well, at least like enough friends that I like good friends, right?
Yeah.
And then university is just this thing where it's like, bam. Like the first year of university when you move in, and you have like maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 classes a day, but there's nothing keeping you there. And especially at the place we went, it was very much either a commuter place or like you live in residence, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
If you're a commuter, you're not really hanging around.
No.
And if you're in residence, you're going back to residence.
Yeah, because like our campus was pretty far out of the way. Like it's still technically in Toronto, but like it's an hour to 90 minutes to get from the core of the city to like our weird little outskirt school. And like so no, if you don't have a reason to be there, you're not going to just hang out and troll the halls to see who's lonely.
I did that though.
Like so you weren't on res ever, right?
No, I wasn't on res. I mean I've lived here since I'm right now like if I drove back when I was in university, it would have been like a 10-15 minute drive.
Yeah.
But because I took the bus, it was like 30-40 minutes. So, it was just enough to be a bit annoying or like a bit hard or like, I want to get home, whatever. But I remember there was that, you walk into class and you got to make your own friends. Like in high school, at least it's either smaller class sizes or, repetition. You have the same lunch with people. Like, like it happens that there's that order that allows for socializing to happen. And university is, you're there to learn. Which some of those classes, I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, for the most part.
But it's hard to get that. And I think that's something that I think that's a big reason why a lot of people do struggle with university. And I think that's why a lot of people struggle with, or why if they are depressed, anything it can get worse or everything. Cause
it can be real easy to just close off. Where it's like, well, I don't know anybody. Nobody wants to know me. Yeah. So I'm just not gonna try. Yeah. And then your college experience just sucks. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying everyone needs to have 1,000 friends. Like, that's just not what some people are into. But, having that social interaction, it definitely helped me get through school. Yeah, college is weird because, like, in elementary school, like, generally speaking, you're in the same class all day. Yeah. You have one teacher. you get to know all of your classmates. Even if you don't talk to them all the time, you know who they are.
Yeah.
And then in high school, you have 4 or 5 periods a day. So 4 or 5 classes. I don't know how it works. I think it was 4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, no,
4 and a lunch?
I had 4. Yeah, 4 and lunch.
So you have 4 classes a day, but it's the same class every day. So you still get to know the people, and then you have 4 different sets of people that you know.
Yeah.
And there's probably some overlap.
Mm-hmm.
And then in university, like, there's no guarantee that the person you met in your first class is going to be in your second class, or that they're even in the same program as you.
Yeah. So, I mean, in first year, it was very much latching on to people.
Yeah.
And then it was, okay, but then the schedules aren't really working sometimes. Like, in first year, I had one friend probably for the first part of first year.
Right.
Lovely person. Then, I made a couple friends, and then it's kind of acquaintances, and then you don't have classes with them the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I think it was after first year, but it was for some exam. I knew, like, I had a friend who was friends with other people,
Mm-hmm.
which are the friends that I kind of gained later on. But
Right.
it was like this guy named, right?
Oh, heard of him.
Yeah, so he was talking about Bed Bath & Beyond, and he was telling this story, and I was like, this is the most obnoxious person I've heard in my entire life.
Right.
My entire life. I don't know. I was angry. At this random person I'd never met.
Uh-huh.
And then I have a few classes with him. I get to know him. I'm like, man, this guy's really cool.
Yeah.
And then I became friends with him, and now he's doing great things. Great friend.
Uh-huh.
But it's interesting how the first impressions, and then how
Yeah.
it's so easy to look at a person and see the bad things in them.
Especially in, like, an academic institution, that's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily who that person is.
No.
Right? Like, obviously, like, they don't change themselves completely. Like, their personality is still rooted in them.
Yeah.
But academic versions of yourself, like, me sitting in a classroom is very different from me sitting here.
Yeah.
Which is different than me sitting with my mom.
We're on a couch.
Right? So, like, I definitely, first impressions aren't wrong, but they also aren't right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, maybe that person's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just, you don't know the context of what's going on with them because it's just the first time you're meeting them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Also, the context, you have to take in the context of what's going on with you right there. Right?
Yeah.
Like, are you, like, how's your life going? Like, how are you even feeling that day, right? Like,
Right.
if you're pissed off, or I don't know, maybe you didn't sleep well or something, and you meet someone for the first time, and, you can really read into a lot of things that maybe they're not even doing. Like, a lot of things like, oh, like, this person's so annoying, or like, oh, is this person making a joke? Oh, this person's so racist, or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that you can buy into just by your state too.
yeah.
And it's not always...
Humor can be hard to tell first time.
Oh my God,
first time
yeah.
around.
My sense of humor is very, a lot of jokes,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the time when I meet new people, they think I'm serious.
Yeah.
And then I just keep telling jokes till they understand, or they leave. So it's a good
Yeah.
system. Yeah.
Now that we've kind of, like, talked about how school kind of set us up with those relationships,
Mm-hmm.
how have your friendships changed since graduation?
I'm doing a lot more podcasts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A lot more podcasting.
Of course.
But, booked clear for the year. But, well, I mean, like I said, you have to go out and you have to do stuff. And I feel like even with that, I feel like when I'm hanging out with someone a lot of the time, it's like with the pretense of some sort of project. It's like some sort of, like in school we had assignments, or in school we had classes to go to. But I feel like when you want to spend time with someone, so you make up a podcast, or you make up a business venture or something, right? Because like something that you guys can do, put work into, and then also be yourselves and like have those great moments that you're like, wow, this is why I'm your friend.
Oh yeah. I feel like you definitely have to give yourself a reason to hang out with someone.
Mm-hmm.
If that reason is I want to talk to you, sick.
Yeah.
But like, some people it's like, well, we're gonna play a board game.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get drinks. We're gonna do whatever. Like, sometimes you just have to come up with a reason to see people if you want to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some people, there's just no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then like things kind of fall to the side or whatever. And there's no hostility.
No.
It's just like neither of us are trying, so it's a lost cause.
And the thing is that trying doesn't necessarily mean like, seeing each other every week or every month, or even messaging each other on a weekly basis. Like like me and him, friends at school and everything, but then we don't really talk. But when we sometimes send each other a video like once a month.
Oh yeah,
like a weird thing, like, oh, this movie, or like, hey, here's a rewrite of that great movie.
It just reminds me of you, sort of thing.
Yeah, hey, this is something that we either that is interesting to us, or that this is a funny video I saw. Like that I think goes a long way, and I think that for me it's very impactful when someone who you don't really talk to on a regular basis, or someone who you're not seeing on a regular basis, takes the time to send you like a random thing that they're like, look at this is so dumb, or like, man, you check this out, or puts in that effort. Because anyone can put in that effort, right? And I don't know, I mean, personally, I think a lot of the time is like what stops me is like, it's kind of the same thing of like, I need a reason to invite people over, like I need like a podcast, or I need like, hey, this new game or something. Like, people are so busy. Yeah. Or we say that we're so busy, and you don't want to waste each other's time, or like there's that bit of insecurity, at least for me, I think.
Always. Yeah.
It's sort of the grappling with that and everything. But, just sending someone something, being like, hey, I thought you liked this, like putting yourself out there is kind of scary, but that's also kind of the point of life in my thing. So
it's risk or reward, right? Like, and this is very low risk. Like, if you send someone that you're an acquaintance with or you're friendly with, like a message, and they don't respond, like, okay, you just know not to do that. But like, you might end up, starting something that's really cool or really awesome or really cute. Who knows?
Really cute.
Who knows? Maybe.
Ooh. Wow. Can I have a quick aside?
Yeah.
All right. So I met my girlfriend on a study abroad trip. Through school. So school, which also study abroad trips. If you're in school, if you're doing them, I think it's a great way because you're taken out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're put in a place with like, let's say 10 people, probably 11 people. And it's basically, you're friends with them because it's the 10 of you against the world, right? It's the 10 of you in a foreign country or something. Or maybe you guys split up. Maybe it's like the 5 versus those 5 and then the world, like whatever, but you meet the people and everything. And it's a really, really cool experience. And also, go ahead.
In some ways, college is the same way where like everyone's kind of a fish out of water.
Yeah.
So you latch onto the people that seem like they can help you out.
Yeah, which the study abroad thing actually did open me up for school more. That it was the perspective of, with 10 people and then seeing that, like we have so many things in common from different programs and everything.
Yeah.
I look at the people in my own program that I'm like, okay, I can talk to you people. I can like get that.
So your girlfriend went to Guelph Humber?
Yeah, she's actually...
I literally didn't know that.
Yeah, she's actually an ECE, a year older. I didn't know she went to Guelph Humber until study abroad. She was gonna go. She actually wanted to go on the ECE trip, and she was trying to switch out of the media trip because she was the only one, and they were like, "Sorry, it's too late." And that
was one to like England and stuff, right?
Yeah, England and Iceland.
Yeah.
So then after the trip, I mean, from the second day I saw her, not the first day. The first day, I recognized her because she laughed at one of my jokes, and I was like, "Wow, this is the first day. So this is a good start. Huh, what a great person." But anyway, I sort of fell for her and everything, and then when the trip finished, it was like back to reality. Right?
Yeah.
It was, I had her Snapchat, and that was it. And I was going to see her one more class.
Right.
Which was like, okay. But, when you come back from one of those trips, it's also like, I got to go back to my life now. I'm not in England or Ireland or wherever the hell you are, right? You're not there. You're not there for a week. You're not there goofing off. You're not there. That you're back at your home. You're back with your financial situation, whatever it is. You're back there with your
back on the
brother.
Grind.
Your allergy to your cat,
Yeah, who knows?
So you're there, and then it was like, do you let that experience that was really great go away or anything?
Yeah.
Or do you fight for it or kind of thing? So, I mean, I just sent her a message being like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. And it can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to come up with some elaborate, 12-step plan to get her to hang out with you. Like, it can just be like a, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
What you up to?
Actually,
how was your week?
Basically, yeah, we talked, and then we ended off that night. And she was like, okay, see you in class next week. And I was like, see you in class next week? That's a week away.
Oh.
So then the next day was the one where I'm like, do you try again for that relationship or whatever it is, like that friendship, right? And it turned out pretty well.
Yeah. And some people just aren't great at doing that over text.
Yeah. Texting is shit.
Yeah. Some people just don't work that way, and that's totally fair.
Yeah.
I don't mind a long text conversation. Sometimes it's preferable over a voice conversation, but
Yeah.
you know, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
But like maintaining communication is like definitely an important key to, you know, keeping whatever you got going alive.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whether it's something romantic or just platonic, like
Yeah.
if you like it just don't work if you don't talk, you know?
Yeah.
Like there are some people from my high school that like I talk to maybe once a year.
Okay.
And like it's always like, hey, you want to grab dinner sometime? And it's like, sure. And then
I like dinner.
yeah, I eat. And then
You know me so well.
And then you get dinner, you chat,
Yeah.
you catch up, and then, you know, you go separate ways and you're done.
Do you ever get tired of catching up? Do you ever
little
get tired of trying to summarize your life for people who haven't been in it for the last few months?
Yeah.
Or vice versa?
Yeah. It's
What do I say? Like, I don't know what I've been living my, like,
going to work,
it's like, yeah.
going to sleep.
It ends up being like, yeah, I mean, I, like, you pick one thing you're proud of maybe. Because it's hard to, like, distill 6 months of your life and the ups and downs you feel and everything into, like, hey, how are you doing? And you're, like, sitting at dinner. And it's like,
Yeah. I often describe myself as boring because I don't go out very often.
And you did today. Congratulations.
So it's definitely hard to be like, hey, what's new?
Yeah.
Right now I have new shit because it's like, well, I moved into Toronto and I'm desperately trying to find a job. So cool. But like for the average person, it's just kind of like, man, you know, I'm me and I'm here.
Yeah, you know, the job's going well. Hoping to get a promotion. You know. Yeah. Yeah.
So would you say you value friendships more now than you did in school, or less?
I don't know. I feel like friendships are always something that have been important to me. I feel that there is definitely, I don't want to say less of it now, like less overall, but I mean,
Right.
like I said, high school, elementary school, it was like surrounded, right? Like you walk in and, you know, into class and there's your friend or whatever, and it was just so easy to do. But here it's like, it's kind of scary, right? It's like your relationships are something that you have to do now.
Yeah. It's a lot easier for things to fall away now.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's something that, like you said, you have to fight for.
Which is like which has kind of been a nice, what's been a nice transition period is that I'm doing a lot of freelance work right now. So in the same vein, it's like if I don't contact people, if I don't send out my like, you know, applications or examples of my work to people, I'm not going to get paid for anything, right?
Yeah.
If I don't pitch ideas on a regular basis, I'm not getting any money. I'm not getting any, like, you know, I need to sustain myself, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, that's sort of the way that you can view relationships or like things like that, right? That you need to go out and do them or you won't have them.
Yeah.
Right? You need to put in that effort and everything. And I think that's, for me, is something that is hard to grapple with, but I think it's something that those two things kind of aligned and like, okay, this is what you got to do, man. You have to talk to people.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to talk to people. And then like,
but then you realize that you're like not getting jobs, or you're not getting, or you're not losing friends, but like friends are kind of starting to get far away. And then you just realize that you're sitting home alone and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, you're sitting home alone. You're playing Overwatch a lot. You know.
Yeah, but not even with your online friends.
Yeah, well, you know, the issue is that you queue with random people online.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's all good until you lose a game. Then everyone quits. And they're all like, fuck you. And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like on one part it's hard, but on the other part it's so simple.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, but talking to people, meeting people, having people in my life who are important to me makes me feel good.
Yeah. It's something definitely worth working for. Like, I feel like it's a lot more rewarding than a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Like, having friends, like, even if it's something where monthly someone messages you a funny video, like, I feel like that is a special sort of something in your brain that just tingles differently than anything else. Right? Like, it's obviously worth fighting for and working towards. And,
yeah. That's why every movie in the last 100 years has been about that.
Yeah.
So, do you have like a sort of a friend or a relationship or something that has sort of gone away and that you sort of regret losing in that sort of way? Is there any that stand out to you or that?
none that I regret specific, because like in the end, if I haven't talked to someone in a while, I'll eventually message them and be like, yo, what's up? Grab coffee sometime. Like there was one of my friends from high school who we went to different schools, but in the same city. Like she went to U of T.
Okay.
So like by all like logic, we should have stayed better in touch, but we kind of didn't for like 3 years. Like we would talk and hang out maybe every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then we found ourselves both back in London this summer.
Wow.
And like that really pushed towards like, you know, being buds again, good buds. And like, I don't know. I think every relationship that I've lost, quote unquote, I'm not going to say that there's a reason, but if it wasn't worth the effort, then I'm not sure I would have gotten anything more out of it than I could have gotten from someone else.
I'm going to say there's a reason.
Is it because I'm an asshole?
No, I'm saying that. No, see.
No, but like, I'm not saying that person did anything wrong to me.
No,
and I never
no.
did anything wrong to them. It was just a matter of like, it was no longer, not forced upon me, but it was no longer like,
Yeah.
we're in the same place, might as well talk.
Okay.
Like, a lot of my high school friends, it was that way. And like, at the time, it felt very real. And then as soon as it was like, we're 2 hours apart,
Yeah.
that the relationship just died. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well, I have my friends, you have your new friends, and c'est la vie.
Yeah. At the same time, I feel like if you were placed in a situation with them again and you're just doing whatever, like, you know, playing a board game or whatever, I feel like it's easy to fall back in though.
Yeah, probably for some of them. For most of them.
Yeah.
There were some that like I said, they got cut rather than just kind of fizzled, but
They're not in the league anymore.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, if we sat down at a table and we're like, yeah, we're just going to hang out, then like, yeah, there would be a lot of catching up to do, but I think it would be at least friendly.
Yeah.
I'm not like, it might not necessarily continue past that conversation, but like, it would be a good interaction.
Yeah.
But like, if there wasn't a reason to do it before, there probably isn't a reason for me to try now.
For sure. And
Maybe that's just the cynical part of me where, I don't know.
I guess it's about, you're sort of deciding what's worth the effort to find a reason to.
Do you ever have that thing where right now, like, you have a best friend, but they have a different best friend, and you're like, fuck me.
Shit.
You're my quote unquote favorite person right now.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm not your favorite. So this feels very one way. Like, you could be good friends. Like, they still want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you'd rather hang out with them though.
Yeah, shoot. I've had friendships where it's like, let's say there's 3 of us in this friendship. Well, not our friendship, but there's 3 of us. We're all friends.
Right.
And these 2 people are much better friends than I am with either of them.
Right.
So spending time together with them.
You're third wheeling.
Yeah, and it feels shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have friends that I'm still friends with, but like growing up, they're really close and everything. So it's always like, I'm like, being that extra person doesn't feel good.
Yeah. I've had that with people that were a romantic couple. And then I've also had that with people that were just really close friends. And it sucks being like, you're on the inside, but you're not on the inside.
On the outside, always looking in.
Right?
Oh, no.
Like, it's like there's concentric circles, right? There's a circle within a circle. Like, you're not on the outside.
Yeah.
But there's still a barrier between you and the real circle.
Okay. I feel like just talking about like, you know, you're hanging out with people who are together. I think that with friends, I think it's a little different because it's...
Friends is definitely different than romantic.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, putting that out there, guys. Friends and romance aren't the same thing. But I mean, it's different because with friends, it's like you're all on equal playing ground technically.
Yeah.
So if these friends are vibing more together, I think it hurts more.
Yeah.
Because if it's a relationship, if it's 2 people, then I think people are pretty good, or at least the people I've interacted with are pretty good at making it, you know, somewhat inclusive. But I think it's more weird than it is like
It's uncomfortable in a different way. It's uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like you guys could be kissing, but I'm here.
I prefer that uncomfortable.
Over like you guys would rather just be hanging out alone.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting in your way of having
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. So then it's like, man, like you guys can kiss later. That's cool. We're doing something now. As opposed to, I want to be doing this thing that we're doing right now.
And you two would rather be doing it, just you two.
Yeah, or maybe not even that, but it's more like, I'm not saying that people would rather be like, get out of here type thing, but it's like,
Right.
it your mind sometimes.
People have a tendency to, exaggerate bad things, right?
Yeah.
So if they feel kind of left out, if they think about it, they'll feel really left out.
Yeah.
Now that you don't have that institution that forces like-minded people, or not even like-minded, similar aged people into the same room.
Yeah.
Like, what's been your experience trying to, find new people to hang out with?
That has sort of not really happened for me.
Okay, me too.
Okay, phew. Okay, I feel a lot better right now. Ugh.
Right? Like,
I have like one friend that I've met
right.
who, since graduation probably. And
Yeah.
they're like an online friend. They're like someone I met when I was in California this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we just sort of hit it off and everything. And then we've sort of just been going back and forth
Oh,
kind of thing. So,
it still works. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think I've met anybody new, really.
Yeah. I don't think I ever, the thing is that even in those institutions, I don't think I ever went there and was like, okay, today I'm going to make a friend. Right?
Yeah.
Like that.
No, it happened very organically.
It just happens, right? So, and I think now because, I mean, personally, like I do a lot of my work over a computer, or not. I'm not like in an office or anything like that. I don't have like a 9-to-5 job like that. So,
Yeah.
meeting people and everything, like I've met people, but it's like very acquaintancy or very like, oh, you're at this gala and you're covering it too, or like this is a PR person.
Yeah. I worked at an office over the summer, but it was like such a small office that like there weren't that many opportunities to meet people.
Okay.
And like I was never interacting with customers or anything like that. It was literally just me at a computer in an office. And now I'm working from home, so it's even harder. Like I don't even have those interactions that I had at the office.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I would go to make a friend. Like I don't
The club.
Like I said, I don't do things very often, but also like I don't know where people go with the intention of meeting new people that they aren't trying to hook up with. Like you go to a club, sure you want to meet someone new, but it's to kiss their face and maybe other body parts.
Whoa.
Right? Like I don't think anybody's going there to be like, yo, want to play Scrabble sometime?
Oh my god, if that happened though, I would be like, yes. But I at the same time be like, you want to kill me. So also I don't really go to clubs.
Right?
But
Exactly. You'd have to be screaming way louder than that.
do you want to play Scrabble?
But like, I don't know where people our age, young 20s,
Yeah.
go with the intention of making friends. I feel like it has to be organic.
You make a startup or something, like
I guess.
I don't know. Do you hang around at the library? Do you talk to people? Do you talk to people on the bus? Do you talk to people on the bus?
Hell no. Jesus.
Does that ever happen?
One time,
Yeah.
I was on a bus with one of my friends, and
You talk to them, eh?
Yeah, I was talking to my friend. Something smelled aggressively like weed, and some other lady that was sitting near us was like, "Ooh, I haven't smelled that since college," and I was in like grade 10, so I was like, That's it. And like that wasn't like a friendship that was gonna happen. That was just someone on a bus making a funny comment.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm fine with making that like first like joke or whatever. Like I can be that 30-year-old woman now who says to a stranger, "I haven't smelled that since college."
You gonna do that on the bus
Probably not, but maybe like
someday?
if I was in a line somewhere and like someone was cool.
Yeah. See, I feel like lines are more conducive for me than buses.
Yeah. Well, bus people are just trying to get where they're trying to go.
Yeah. Like buses,
Like I have headphones in, they're not coming out for anybody.
yeah. Which I mean, part of me is like when I'm on a bus, I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because it's like you see all these people, and I just like sometimes I just stop and I'm like, what are their stories, right? Like what is
Where are they headed?
yeah. they're on this bus, right? This bus of life.
Yeah, I know where I'm headed. Where are they headed?
No, and and basically everyone has like headphones or they're avoiding eye contact. And
Yeah.
it's like it's weird
Eyes glued to phone.
for like a social creature, which I think humans are. It's weird. And you know, you don't want to be the person to be talking, because if you're a person talking on a bus, you're going to be escorted off that bus probably.
Yeah, you're gonna get some weird glares.
Yeah. I mean, the most interaction I've had is when, I mean, if someone talks to me on a bus, I'm open. Like, because if they open the floodgates, if they make the first move, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And then I can talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm game. And that first move though, I feel like it's just I don't know. It's weird.
I feel like the first move and then the first follow up are the two hardest parts. Right? Like making that initial connection is very difficult.
Yeah.
And then once that connection is over, it's the first time you're going to be like, hey, remember me?
Yeah.
Let's keep this going. That is super awkward.
Yeah.
No matter what. And then after that, I feel like it gets easier, especially if it's like relatively common, like pretty often.
Yeah.
Like if you leave it for 3 months, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Especially for that first. Like,
remember me
hey,
from 3 months ago?
No.
Or like, remember that joke we talked about 3 months ago?
Yeah, remember I was on the bus. I said, haven't smelled that since college.
I mean, it doesn't have to be on a bus. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Then I added you on Facebook. I don't know anybody that ever did that.
Yeah, no, I've never added anybody on the bus.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not the type of person that would be like, I'm going to interrupt that person's day with my bullshit. Most of the time.
On a plane, I think is different though.
I've never been on a plane.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. How did you get here?
Subway.
What? Yeah, I mean, on planes, I feel like you're closer to the person, right? So you're probably the most you're gonna be is a row of like 3 or 4 maybe. But there's like I've had interactions on like plane, like this summer when I traveled, I talked to someone on a plane and like we hit it off for the flight and it was really good. I mean, and we never exchanged contact or anything, but it was like a nice interaction kind of thing.
No, I mean, yeah. So then the next step would be
they were going to Disney World
to exchange contact info.
Yeah. If you want to, but I mean, you don't really need to. Like,
no.
Like sometimes it's just nice to have an interaction.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to have a friend for a flight.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
I don't want to know their political beliefs.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Probably not that.
No. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, making friends now, it's because it's not natural. If you're making friends, it's probably not natural. Or it doesn't feel natural because I'm looking at all my friends I made in university.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I made them, really.
No, not specifically.
It was just like enough time. It's like a Stockholm Syndrome thing, right?
Well, yeah, because like I feel like a lot of the time it's not like stranger and then one event friend in school. It's like stranger and then like a semester and a half later you're telling each other about the times you cried in high school, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you just find yourself connecting to whatever person more than anybody else, and like it's a gradient rather than like black and then white.
Yeah. Which when you're approaching trying to find a friend, it feels like a black and then white. Right?
Yeah.
It's like I gotta approach them, then I gotta keep going. Are we friends? Am I bothering them?
Especially when it's like there is no reason for me to ever see you again unless I make it happen.
But at the same time, I feel like we're on the same page in this. I feel like people like connection, right?
Yeah. Like,
so
most people would probably be put off by me being like, "What's up? I'm Evan. I like your shoes."
Thanks. I'm not wearing any, but
that's why I like them.
Yeah. So like the thing is that I sometimes like it's people like connection. So trying to connect with people, it should be, in theory, something that is easy.
Yeah, but I think everyone's so self-conscious. Like, I know I'm very self-conscious and socially anxious where like I said, I don't want to interrupt that person's life with my stupidness. Right? Like, I don't know. I have a very low perception of myself. So if I think someone's cool, then in my perception, they'll think I'm stupid and lame and don't want to hang out with me. Especially if they're a stranger. Eventually, I'll learn that they're just as stupid and lame as me if there are repetitive interactions. But like if it's a single interaction or like just a passing one,
Yeah.
then I have no opportunity to learn like that they're not some sort of godly creature that is the epitome of cool.
Man, yeah.
Right?
That strikes a chord. Just like even people you meet in university, right?
Yeah.
When you don't know a lot about them, there's this mystery about them, and you're like,
Oh man,
this person has it all together, or like, wow. And then like, 2 weeks later, you see them like puke in a dumpster at a party. And you're
Yeah.
like, huh.
oh, that person is human. They're not
Wow.
a deity.
Then you just stare, and then people are like, why are you staring at this person puking? You're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like people aren't necessarily people when I interact with them the first time, if that makes sense. Like, so to me, I don't feel comfortable trying to be my full problematic person with all my baggage and shit, because I don't know any of theirs.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first person to really be like, here's some baggage, that opens the floodgates?
The floodgates.
The floodgates, which is what I just did. But like, yeah, the first person to really kind of make that human connection rather than just like a passing joke or a glance or whatever. But the first person that really is just like, yeah, this is who I am.
Yeah.
That's when it starts. And I have a problem being that person because it's awkward and uncomfortable and scary.
Yeah, no, it is. And everyone has baggage, so it's kind of like, but you don't know what their baggage is, right? So it's
right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And you never want to like just toss your baggage at a stranger.
No.
Right?
I mean, and not all baggage is bad though. Like,
yeah.
I can be
It's
like,
just whatever neuroses and quirks that you got.
I buy too many comics.
Let's say there's a party, right?
Okay.
And I know the host of the party, so I get invited. But I know, let's say, 2 other people, and there are 20 people going.
Ooh.
If I only know the host and 2 other people, I'm probably not interested in going.
Okay.
Just because, like, even though that's 17 or 18 people that I don't know, that's more intimidating to me than it is an opportunity to make friends.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that's 17 or 18 potential interactions that, like, I have to explain who I am, what I believe.
It's like you're catching up with all of them, right?
Yeah. But instead of catching up with
they know nothing about
my
you.
last 3 months, it's my entire belief system.
On October 19th,
1996,
1996, I was born.
Exactly. It's a lot more to try to catch someone up on, and like that is just more effort than I'm trying to put in a day. If it's like I know 19 people and one person's a stranger, like obviously I'm going to go because that's just all my friends.
Yeah, and if it's like, if you only know 2 people at the party, there's also that feeling that, okay, I want to spend the whole night with you because that's the only people I know right now.
Yeah.
But if you know all these people, I don't want to be like encumbering you, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be in your way of enjoying everyone's company.
Yeah.
Because I don't know everyone.
Yeah.
I did that a few times. I went to some Western parties with one of my friends.
Yeah.
And like, I basically followed him around like a little lost puppy dog because like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
And they're all like so embroiled in their own stuff that like, I don't want to intrude.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to follow you as you interact with everybody.
They're on season 5 or 6 of their show, and you're like looking for a pilot.
Yeah, exactly.
To get in there.
Exactly.
Like, or not even. They're on season 5 or 6, and you want to join the show.
Yeah.
And like the fan base is gonna be like, why the fuck do we care about you? You're coming into season 5 or 6.
Yeah, everyone knows when you add a baby, it's jumping the shark.
Right?
But yeah, it's like, it just feels like you're intruding on an ongoing plot.
But it's also, I mean, if you look at it, I feel like in theory that thing, it's interesting though. Like if you're going to a party and let's say you don't know a lot of people, you have all these potential interactions, right? You have all these people who you can talk to, and that's exciting. But I think that within the first 5 minutes, you know if it's exciting or terrifying.
Yes.
Right? You know if it's like, if the vibe is like, oh my God, these are so cool people, this is going to be a great night. Or if it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here. I can leave at 10, right?
Yeah, when are we going home?
Is an hour, 2 hours? Is that?
Yeah. It also didn't help that at basically all of those Western parties, I was DD. So everyone was drunk and I was sober.
Drunk people, man. When you're not drunk,
they're the worst.
Oh,
they're the
fuck.
worst when you are drunk.
yeah,
But like when you're sober, it's a whole different hell.
yeah.
Especially when they're strangers. Like a whole house of drunk strangers
Yeah,
is probably where I'm gonna be when I die
that sounds,
and go to hell.
That sounds probably true. I mean, like when if it's your friends, you have that like, okay, if you're doing something stupid, I'm gonna like step in, I'm gonna do something. But if it's a stranger, you're kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
I should leave. But yeah, I feel like also when you're at that party where 19 and you don't know two people, like, are you attracted to that person? Like, do you want to go try to make a new friend at that point? Or are you just so comfortable with the 19 people you do know that you're like, yeah, that person can stay a stranger?
I feel that. I mean, like when I've been at a party where I know most of the people and I don't know some. I'll introduce myself. I'll say hi, but I'm not like most of the time. It's not like, how are you doing? What's your day? Like because the people at your party with, you already have that in, and you can like joke around and stuff easy.
Yeah,
people go for the easier stuff in social interactions because
definitely
it's everything else is scary. Which I think that people should go for the scary stuff. I think I should go for the scary stuff sometimes too. But
yeah, but it's hard to convince yourself to do that.
Yeah,
especially or a little bit less when you're drunk, I guess.
But I think it's good to have in your mind that it is scary, but it's something that can be good. And I think if you have that in your mind, it might help you in the situation, or you might do it.
And like when you're being open to things, then like if you open up to it, chances are the other person will be receptive.
Yeah.
Like there are going to be those occasions when they're not and they just shut you down. But like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time everybody wants it. It's just hard to take that first step.
It's a dance. It's a dance. And dances are, you just flail about. But the good dancers know the choreography.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know the choreography.
Make your own choreography.
Flail about.
Like the town from Footloose.
Put on your Sunday shoes. Well, that was episode 7 of Midnight Musing. Like we said, friendship is naturally built into us. It's just a matter of kind of getting over those insecurities we all have and allowing ourselves to connect with each other, because everyone wants that, basically. But everyone seems to think that no one wants it. If you like Alex and want to hear more of him, you can check out his podcast, the Comics Podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all the usual suspects when it comes to podcasting. And you can follow them on both Facebook and Twitter to find out when new episodes are coming out. While we're talking about social media, you can follow Midnight Musing on Twitter @_Midnight Musing, and you can subscribe on YouTube if that's how you would like to listen to the podcast. You can also follow the Thunderdog Radio social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Thunderdog Radio. We've got a few new things in the works that will hopefully be announced by the end of the year, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty psyched. So just keep your eyes peeled to that. And we should have some announcement posts coming out soon. Check back in 2 weeks for episode 8. But until then, I'll see you next midnight.
Thanks for listening. That was a Thunderdog podcast.